my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Welcome back to the continuation of the Virus Floral Hexagon motif, and let's get to it. Alrighty. Okay, we're in the home stretch with round 9. Not only is this the last round of the motif, but also it is the joining round. So, and that will become apparent all too soon. Now, to begin round 9, we need a chaining up of 6. That's a double crochet and a chain 3 space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 into the next double crochet stitch, just a double crochet. Chain 3, and then double crochet into the next double crochet. It's really that easy for the rest of the round, pretty much. Chain 3. Yep, come on. Thank you. Double crochet into the next double crochet. And chain 3. Double into the next double. Chain 3. Double into the next double. And so forth. Okay, almost there. Into that last double crochet. Now again, be aware that that is not a double crochet. That's a single crochet, so you don't want to stitch into there. Also, you can, of course, double count and make sure that you've got 10 doubles separated by chain 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Okay, so once you get to this bridge, if you will, don't do any chains in between. You just sort of go directly from this double crochet to your next double crochet on the opposite side. So we've got 1, and then we chain 3, and then we follow suit with this petal. It's really, really, really that easy. Okay, so what you would do is you would keep on going on in this same fashion, doing a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, chain 3, etc., etc. And then after doing your last double crochet right here, not the single, but the double, your double crochet, you would do a double crochet here, and then without chaining in between, do your double crochet directly into the one over here, bridging the gap. Okay? And now I'm going to show you how you can join one piece to another piece. And then I'm going to show you how you can join one piece in between pieces so it sort of fits into the gap. Okay, so I'm going to show you that now. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to join motifs together. First, I'm going to show you how to join one side to one side, and then I'm going to show you how you can join in the further negative space there. So as you can see, it has a really nice sort of lacy yet seamless join. It is actually not as bad as it looks, believe you me. And we are going to start with this side down here and the piece that we've been working on. Now, what I did was I put these little markers here, okay, to show you where you need to start your join. Now, right here, okay, this is where we were bridging the gap, okay? So as far as where you put your markers, if you choose to use them, it is after your bridge here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. In that 5th space, that's where you do the join. And then if you would follow along, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's the one right in the middle. Okay, that's where you start. And then sort of a symmetry mirror image here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, that 5th space, that is where you would end the join for your side. Okay, and let me just scoot that a little. Now for this piece, I have already created, after bridging the gap, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've already created those 4 spaces. So right now, we're going to dive into doing our join from the one piece to the other piece in a join as you go fashion, so that you don't have to sew these various pieces together, which I think makes it all the easier. So let's get to it. Okay, so now if you remember, when we were doing our chain spaces in between our double crochets, it's 3 chains. Now when we do the join, it's going to be a chain 1, then slip stitch to the other piece, chain 1, and then double crochet into the next double crochet stitch. Now, by doing a chain 1, slip stitch, chain 1, that is the equivalent to the length of 3 chains, so it works out. So, going to start with a chain 1 and then slip stitch into the one that we marked. So, grabbing this, going underneath, and do our slip stitch, and then chain 1, and then double crochet into the next double crochet. Okay, so that's one connected, nice and seamlessly. Then chain 1, and then we're going to slip stitch into the next chain 3 space. Slip stitch, chain 1, and then going back to our working piece, double crochet into that double crochet. Chain 1, then slip stitch into the next one. So we went into this space, going into this next space with a slip stitch. Chain 1, then going back to our working piece, double crochet. Ooh, ooh, don't mind me. Double crochet. Okay, chain 1, and so we've got 2 more. We've got this one, and then we're going to bridge the gap again. So let's go into this one right here. So I did my chain 1, so slip stitch, chain 1, double crochet into this next double crochet, chain 1, slip stitch, chain 1, and double crochet into this last double crochet before our bridging the gap that we're going to be doing. So double crochet, there we are, and let's just back it on up a little bit to show you what we have accomplished. thus far, because that's where we started. So pretty. All right, so now, as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 double crochets. Okay, so now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to bridge the gap, which means we had our double crochet here. Now we have to do our double crochet on the other side. No chains in between, just like we did up here, because it's double crochet here and a double crochet here. It's upside down, yes, but you know, it mirrors itself. It follows suit. So, following right along, from this double crochet, going to the other side. Again, be careful not to mistake that single crochet as your double. It's this one right here. Double crochet, so we bridged the gap, chain 1, and then into this first chain 3 space here, going to slip stitch, chain 1, and then double crochet into the next double crochet, which is right here. Okay, chain 1, scoot your work as is necessary. So I got my chain 1, then slip stitch into the next chain 3 space because we just went into there, so going into here. Slip stitch, chain 1, double crochet into the next double crochet, chain 1, going to slip stitch into that next space, chain 1, double crochet into the next double crochet, chain 1, slip stitch into the next space, chain 1, double crochet into the next double crochet, chain 1, and this is where we have our marker. So after doing that chain 1, slip stitch into this space, chain 1, and double crochet into that next double crochet, and the side is complete. Now again, let's back it on up. And initially it's a little bunchy, but it does stretch out nicely. Oh, that's so pretty. So, so pretty. Okay, so now, since we finished our last join, where the marker was, then you would continue on as normal, which for me, that's saying something. You would continue on as normal by doing a chaining of 3, and then double crochet into the next double crochet, chain 3, double crochet into the next, chain 3, double crochet into the next, chain 3, and so on and so forth, you know, all the way until your motif is finished. Oh, see, I almost made a boo-boo. See, that was the last double crochet. So I would be going directly from here, bridging the gap, going from this double crochet to that double crochet on the other side. no chains in between. You go like that, chain 3, and double crochet. And really that's all there is to it. And you would, like I said, continue with your chain 3, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, bridging the gaps as necessary. And then when you have come to the end, this would be your last double crochet into here. And then you would slip stitch into the top 1, 2, 3, the third chain of your first double crochet. You just slip stitch into there and cut your yarn and sew in your end. Okay, so that is how you join one side to one side. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to join in this sort of concavity space, and let's get to it. Alrighty. Okay, so first off, excuse the handheld camera work, but I'm doing the best I can here. Okay, so now, just like we did before, we have our 4 pre-existing spaces there, and I marked off where we're going to go into because, again, right here, this is where we have our bridging the gap, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then into that 5th space, okay? That's where we're going to start the join. And then this side here is really exactly what we had done previously, but then it's sort of like, what do we do here, right? How do we join this and make it look nice and pretty and seamless? And then this side is, again, very, very similar to what we had already done. And yes, again, I put my little marker because it makes it a lot easier in the long run. You can use a scrap of yarn or what have you, but personally, I just think that it makes it easier for visual, representation. So again, there's the gap, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into that 5th space. That is where we end. So we are going to have a bit of a recap of what we've done, and we're going to go that extra mile because I really want to be thorough with you guys so that you are sure to understand that it's nothing to be afraid of. And if you are just patient and breathe, breathing is good, we can do this together. So let's do a double join. Okay, so I got my joined pieces already, and I'm just sort of going to maneuver them so that it represents closer to what we had done previously as far as just one side to one side here, okay? And so again, this is essentially what we had done previously, but there's nothing wrong with going over something more than once so that you guys really can understand. So I'm going to chain 1 and then grab our piece here and slip stitch into that chain space to join, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, slip stitch into the next chain space, chain 1, and double crochet. Chain 1, slip stitch into the next chain space, chain 1, double crochet down below, chain 1, slip stitch into the next space, chain 1, double crochet down below, chain 1, slip stitch into that last space, chain 1, double crochet down below. Okay, and that was the last of our double crochets because that's our single crochet. So going directly from the double crochet that we just did, we need to double crochet on the other side over here. So bear with me while I maneuver and finagle as best I can. So going to double crochet into that double crochet on the other side. Again, skipping that single crochet. Got to be careful of that. So double crochet, chain one, and then doing your slip stitch, because this is the bridging of the gap, slip stitch into this first chain space here. Okay, chain one, double crochet into the next double crochet, chain one, and slip stitch into the next chain space, chain one, double crochet into the next double, chain one, and slip stitch into the next chain space, chain one, double crochet down below, chain one. See, we're almost out of spaces here. Okay, got my chain one, and then slip stitch into the next chain space, chain one, and double crochet down below. Okay, so now let's see where we are at. Okay, so I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doubles since the bridging of the gap, which means it is now magic time. Okay, because now, as you can see, we have no more spaces to go in on this piece, and we're going to have to start on this side. However, we need to join our corners so that it is, as I said, a bit more seamless. So what we're going to do actually is, since we did our 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in between this 5 and this 5, we're going to join to this center point right up here. So instead of doing a chain 1 slip stitch into a chain 3 space, actually what I find works is we're going to do a chain 1 slip stitch into this stitch right here where we joined, okay? And then continue on down this side in the exact same fashion that we had done. So let's do that. Okay, so going to chain 1, and then, as I said, going to do a slip stitch into this join right here. Now, of course, if you find a better way of doing this yourself, hey, more power to you. That's totally fine. This is just what I found worked best for me. So I'm going to slip stitch right into there, chain 1, and then do my next double crochet. Okay. So let's show you what we have. See, it goes right in there, nice and pretty and seamless. It's a thing of beauty. Okay, so now to make this a little bit easier, I'm going to sort of scoot my work like so, so that this piece is now going vertically and the other piece is on the side. All right. And then the next chain 3 space, see, this one already has a connection. So we're going to go into this one here because, again, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So chain 1 and then slip stitch, chain 1 and double, chain 1, and slip stitch, chain 1, and double, chain 1, and slip stitch, chain 1, and double, chain 1, and this is the last one, slip stitch, chain 1, and double. Yay! And that was the last one. So bridging the gap once again, going directly from this double crochet to this double crochet on the opposite side, double crochet, chain 1, and then find the, see, that's the bridge right there. So into this next chain 3 space, slip stitch, get my yarn in the right place, there we go, slip stitch, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, slip stitch into the next space, chain 1, and double crochet, chain 1, and slip stitch, chain 1, and double crochet. Chain 1, and slip stitch, chain 1, and double crochet, chain 1, and oh, it's the last one! Slip stitch, chain 1, and double crochet. And then because we went into our last one with the marker, you would then finish up your current motif again in the usual fashion by, from here, doing your chain 3 and double crochet, chain 3, and then double crochet into that next double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, and so forth. Now let's back it on up. And again, when you sort of spread out your joins a little bit, like so, I love this. Words cannot express, although I certainly try to at times. Oh, I love it. Absolutely, positively love it. And I hope that you guys do too. Okay, so basically, yeah, you would just keep on keeping on with your current motif in the same fashion all the way around, and you would do your join at the end, and then you can just build off of this, framework, just add motifs wherever you want to, okay? Now, I have not figured out how to do half of a motif, okay, so that it fits together with more of straight line edges and so forth. That I haven't figured out, at least not as of yet anyway. But I do hope that you really enjoyed this. So, all that being said, listen, all of my yarnivores and spiderettes, thank you for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this series because I had so much fun doing it. Thank you for joining me, and a big thank you once again to Lion Brand for sponsoring this video and supplying me with the yarn. All of the information and links will be in the description box down below as per usual. And until next time, you know what to do. I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay stitching, and please stay safe, take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now, and have a good day.